Hey, what's going on everyone, Vasco here and welcome back to the channel. And in this video let's preview the first new track of the season, the 2022 Miami Grand Prix. Let's do this. Okay, so let's begin by taking an overall look at the track layout and then let's go more in depth into the circuit's characteristics. Okay, so taking a look here at the Miami Grand Prix layout, it's going to be a counterclockwise circuit, so as you can see right here, the track is going to be run in this direction, and it's definitely a very interesting track. So we are going to take into account that we are going to have 3 DRS zones, so here between turn 19 and 1, between turns 9 and 11, and between turns 16 and 17, with this major, very big straight on the back here that's going to see us have the most potential for overtaking. So we cannot forget that the Miami Grand Prix, from these pictures right here, you can get it. It's kind of a street circuit, kind of a permanently built circuit. In my opinion, you cannot really call this a street circuit because even though there are a few sections where the walls are very close, and you are seeing a video right now of a hot lap of the circuit, I think that overall the circuit is very wide, there's a lot of runoff, so I think we cannot call this a street circuit in the same way that we call Baku or Monaco, where there's not really a lot of runoff everywhere, and if you go outside of the track you just go into the wall, because you can see, especially with corners like this one right here on the bottom, that if you go outside the track, well, you have a lot of runoff, nobody's going to hit this wall right here. So in my opinion, this is not a traditional street circuit just like Monaco or Baku, and it's a much more forgiving track. Now with that said, I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression from this. I really enjoy this track layout, and especially sectors 1 and 3. When it comes to sector 3 with this massive straight right here, I think that we are going to have a lot of potential to overtaking. And I think that with this very sharp braking point right here, I think that this is going to be the major overtaking point of the circuit. But then after that overtaking opportunity, the cars really get to this fast 18 to 19 complex, where cars will be able to follow each other very nicely, and this will lead up to a DRS zone where cars will once again be able to overtake into turn 1. So I think that when it comes to overtaking, we have 3 major spots around the track. So we have already talked about the spots at turn 17 and 1, but I think that turn 11 is also a very, very good spot for overtaking. Now, in my opinion, this track has a very good layout, but it has one flaw in my opinion, because I just think that in sector 2 right here in this point, I don't think that cars will be able to follow each other very nicely. I think that it will be very tricky for cars to follow with corners like this and with corners like this, even with the new cars. But thankfully there's a DRS zone preceding it and there's a DRS zone after it, and I think that this is going to kind of even things out, because even with this new generation of cars, I think that these kind of fast sweeping corners are a little bit too much to ask for cars to be able to follow each other nicely. Now, I'm also a little bit worried about the power of these 2 DRS zones right here, because with such big straights and such big high-speed sections, I think that there's the potential that cars would naturally, by this point right here and right here where the DRS zone was going to start, cars would naturally be next to each other due to the slipstream, so this is going to give a massive advantage to the car that's trying to overtake. Okay, so now let's actually take a look at the track from a more technical standpoint. So if you don't know, Pirelli releases a guide for the track every single weekend, showing you a lot of track characteristics and the tires that they're going to use, as well as the tire pressures and the camber angles. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how I analyze this picture every single weekend. So first and foremost, you can see that Pirelli is going to bring the C2, C3 and C4 tires to Miami. So these are about on the middle of the range for Pirelli, so these are neither the softest tires nor the hardest tires that they can bring. It's right in between the range of C1, C2, C3 and C4 and C5 tires. And when we get to the C4 soft tire, we get to one of the softest tires in Pirelli's range. So you can expect to see teams running this C4 tire in qualifying, but not on the race, because otherwise it would be very, very easy to compromise your strategy by using this tire. Because even though you would get a better start of the line with the C4 tire because the softer tire has more traction, I think that the range that you would be able to get out of that stint would not be a match for the kind of endurance that the C3 or the C2 is going to offer when it comes to strategy options. And talking about the strategy options, let's actually take a little bit of a look at how we can read this picture in order to find out what the strategy is going to be. So you can see right here that Pirelli breaks down the track into a lot of characteristics when it comes to their kind of degree of importance. So let's actually begin by taking a look at these ones, because these are the most important ones. So Pirelli expects the track evolution to be a maximum of 5 out of 5, whereas the asphalt grip is going to be at a kind of medium-ish 3 out of 5. Then we have the asphalt abrasion, which is kind of a ratio of how much the asphalt itself is going to wear off the tires. So we have a pretty low asphalt abrasion right here. And then we have the downforce level at which the cars are going to be running at. And Pirelli expects the cars to be running at a pretty low level of downforce. Now, by taking a look at this, we can get a pretty good picture of how the race weekend is going to pan out if the track is dry. Now, if the track is wet, this whole thing is going to change, and there's a slight possibility of rain at Miami this weekend. But let's actually focus on the dry track, because this is the kind of rating that Pirelli is giving. So when it comes to track evolution, it's a 5 out of 5 because the track has new asphalt, which is why the asphalt abrasion is so low and the asphalt grip is at the medium, because the asphalt is pretty brand new, so all of those asphalt oils are still there and the track will not have a lot of grip. But as sessions of both Formula 1 and W Series are running, rubber from the tires is going to accumulate in the asphalt, and this is going to increase the grip of the track massively. So in tracks like Monza, Silverstone, etc., tracks that have been here for years and years and years, you don't see so big track evolutions because the asphalt has been there, it has been worn off, those oils are not there anymore. So the difference between a not rubbered-in track and a rubbered-in track won't be as big, whereas in a track like Miami that's brand new and the asphalt is brand new, the fact that the rubber is going to be covering those oils and increasing the track grip will be massive. So that's why it's at a 5 out of 5, and that's why the asphalt grip in the beginning is going to be a 3 out of 5. Now, the reason for the asphalt abrasion to be so low, it's again because the asphalt is brand new, that has all of those oils in the track still, and asphalt abrasion is not going to increase massively over the weekend with the track evolution. It's just going to increase a lot over the years. But this track evolution stat is very interesting because this means that the drivers that are going to be going on the final runs of Q1, Q2, and Q3 are going to have a massive advantage over those who went before them, because over the session itself, we can expect to see a massive evolution. So remember that just because a driver puts a very good time into Q1, Q2, or Q3 in the beginning of the sessions, we can expect that that time will be massively improved by the end of the session. So nobody is really safe from getting knocked out in a session of qualifying. Okay, so that's how you analyze this track information that Pirelli provides. But what is this going to actually tell us about the strategy? Well, the fact that asphalt abrasion is low, combined with the fact that we have the kind of hard tires on the C2 and the C3, is going to tell me that most teams are going to be gunning for a one-stop strategy, but if they run the C4, they are going to probably need the two-stop strategy. Now this year the two-stop has been more popular than the one-stop overall, so I would not be surprised if teams would do a double C3 to then a one C4 kind of strategy, but we are going to have to wait and see. But when you see that the asphalt abrasion is low and that the track evolution is high, teams are always going to prefer the one-stop strategy. Now, another very interesting thing that you can get out of this graph is that asphalt grip is low and drivers are going to be running on low downforce setup in order to maximize their top speed around the straights, which means that we have a lot of potential for crashes because the cars are not going to have a lot of grip going into the corners. But we also have low asphalt grip, which means that the track itself is not going to be grippy. So there's a lot of potential for drivers going into the wall. So if you are asking me, the chance of a safety car in Miami is pretty high, especially because drivers are going to be trying to find the best compromise between these low downforce regions right here and here, and the regions of the track that would benefit from high downforce, such as this end of sector 2. So in this region right here, I would expect that drivers would be a lot of prone to crashing. And with such massive straights, it will also be very interesting to see how teams such as Ferrari and Mercedes deal with their high levels of porpoising. And stay tuned, because on Monday night I'm going to have a post-race live stream where I'm going to be talking to you guys about everything Miami Grand Prix. So stay tuned for that and make sure to have those notifications on. But in the meantime, that's been it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, you can check out my latest video right here or my latest live stream right here. And please stay subscribed in order to not miss my future videos and live stream. So with that said, that's been it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys everything about the Miami Grand Prix on my live stream on Monday. So until then, have a nice weekend and goodbye. Ba-doop.